episode of
inaugural, like that.
Inaugural, yeah,
I like that.
Just came from our brain.
Nice.
Episode of Under the Geometree. We're gonna have a fancy theme song and everything pretty soon. But,
yes, all the bells and whistles, folks.
Restless minds wrestle time. Beyond the curve is more than now.
Yeah, and special guests. This first one we are reserving just to introduce ourselves and introduce what the show is going to be about.
Yeah, kind of, I'm panicking.
So, you're here with psilocybin, or
and
also known as Phil.
yeah, just call me Phil. Give it Phil.
And
That's what everyone calls me.
yeah, and I'll be known as Cheshire, or just Chess for short.
Chess?
Chess.
Chess?
Chess.
Chess. Okay.
Yeah.
Chess. Chess it is.
Yeah. So, Phil and Chess.
All right. So now that we have some mask to wear, we can head right into what we
Talking about whatever we want to
we
talk
have
about.
free reign,
Yeah.
if you will.
But the main focus of Under the Geometry will be paranormal, conspiratorial,
Science.
pseudoscience.
Lots of pseudoscience. Definitely pseudoscience.
Yep,
It
and
has a bad name.
and taking on issues and things that are prevalent in our day and age, and maybe giving them the aspect or the spin that hasn't been talked about in the normal news, and getting the different perspective on it.
Basically, a lot of interesting stuff that sadly gets dismissed as phony baloney.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Woo.
I heard.
Woohoo.
Woo. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of woohoo.
Yeah, but like,
Stuff.
I mean, you know, Randall Carlson's got woo, but I mean, he's still like he's speaking from a sound mind.
The thing is that the people that would speak up for him, that would be willing to do so, are not like credible scientists.
Yeah.
And
Well,
there
yeah,
might
'cause
be an
he'll-
odd credible scientist that would, and then immediately that person would like lose their name. It's unfortunate because it's like if you try and stick up for somebody, or like I heard this one thing where there was a new theory that was being put forth in the science community, and the guy who was talking about it said that there's a lot of people that went to it which were like pretty well-known scientists, but they didn't want anyone to know, and they didn't want to say what their name, like they wanted to keep it all anonymous.
Wow.
But they were interested to check it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in politics. Okay, here's a good example. In politics, in U.S. politics, you've got all the politicians that might not necessarily be diehard Christians, but they have to say that they believe in God, or else they're not going to get the vote.
Yeah.
And so they might be atheists, they might be closet atheists, they might not believe in one specific religion, they might be agnostic, but dare they say that, they lose their candidacy almost immediately. Like there's no room for that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the same in the science community. It's like if you start entertaining the idea that there's other things, other theories, things that haven't been explored to the extent that they should have, then you immediately holy fuck, I just went on a
Yeah, you just went on a tear there. Yeah, no,
Sorry,
but
I didn't mean to
that's kind of like what
hijack it.
what we'll be doing. Is talking about those things that people are afraid to talk about because there's a stigma against thinking differently right now.
And the thing is we're not doing anything, like we're not groundbreaking here. We're going to be talking about stuff that we've heard from other podcasts and other articles and stuff, but just kind of making people aware that there's other people that are thinking about it and not just whack jobs. I mean, you could consider it's whack jobs. I don't have any accreditations that really...
Yeah. I'm gonna straight up say, I'm gonna say a lot of theories, a lot of things that I've come up with, and I'm not afraid to just go out and tell them like how I think things work, and put my logic, my spin on it. So like even if we have a guest on and they're saying something, just crazy, I'm not afraid to add to it or disagree, or maybe even just add my perspective to see if it makes what they're working on even better, or what their story. So
no, for sure. I mean, oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. Go ahead, continue.
I think during the show, we're like, I'm gonna take this side of I'm gonna say things unabashedly.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I feel the same way too. Is it's like initially, like when you start breaking into things seem a little kind of out there, a little woohoo, but what was I gonna say? I can't remember what I was going. I had a point to make, and the thing that I wanted to say is that we're not doing anything groundbreaking. There's other people that are starting to do this too, that are just questioning things. That's the whole kind of thing, is like to question a lot of different things, a lot of stuff that we're told at face value, looking at it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Basically, so anything's kind of open. To a degree, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. We're open to any topics, and if you are listening and you have an idea for a topic that you would like us to talk about, or a guest, or an idea for some kind of situation that we should be covering, feel free to send us an email or reach us on our Twitter. Or just check us out on our website, which will all be set up pretty quick here.
Yeah, for sure.
Any feedback's great.
Absolutely. We're grassroots is the thing here.
Yeah.
Is hey man. I don't know what to say. It's not like I was really planning stuff. This is all just
off the handle,
off the cuff,
off the cuff, yeah,
winging it. I guess.
So I guess like we could cover stuff like, will we get let's say the podcast actually gets some followers going. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna get sponsors? Are we gonna or say no to sponsors, or how do you want to handle that? Like, what do you think?
I think if the sponsors pertain to something that we agree with, then
yeah,
I don't want McDonald's to sponsor us.
Why not? Why wouldn't you let some McDonald's sponsors?
I'm a McDonald's is kind of a guilty pleasure, I gotta admit, but I just
stick to something that's kind of like that would work with us. Like.
yeah, I don't think McDonald's would want it sponsored. I'm just saying, like stuff that we can get behind. You know what I mean? Not just like, oh man, I would never use that product. This is stupid.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think that's doing a disservice. I mean, that's just kind of. If you agree.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I don't want to bore people with product.
Well, not only that, but it's just like, someone comes up to me and was like, hey man, you want to go eat at this place? I would give them my honest opinion, even though if I was told to say, no, like, this is a good place to eat. Like, if it's a good place to eat, I will honestly go out and I will promote that place because I enjoy the food. I enjoy whatever they serve, whatever the product is, and if that's the same kind of sponsorship, then absolutely I can get behind it, and I have to believe it. Like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, it's gotta pertain to us. We gotta be, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a slut. God. Damn it, Chess. All right.
Sorry, Phil.
Yeah, I used it a bunch of times. So, Chess, do you have anything to get off your chest?
How about you do a quick intro on just kind of like...
What am I introing?
Yourself.
I don't want to... This is not...
It doesn't have to be personal. It could just be like, tell us something... Tell us something about yourself.
I met Chess a couple years ago, and I've always been into woohoo, and you know,
is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, I like calling it woohoo. I kind of like that. I've always kind of been into woohoo, you know, like paranormal stuff. I mean, ghosts and psychic abilities and all that stuff. Woohoo, and it's you know, as an older person. Know. Okay, well, yeah, I'm 28, so as an older person, talking about this kind of stuff to other people your age, it comes off as goofy and absurd a little bit, but or at least that's what I thought, and the more.
Yeah, but didn't you think the same way about people who thought that way too at one point?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to deny that. I did. Like, it's kind of like you have a closet belief in some of these things. Like, you want to believe in it, I guess, but it's like, it's kind of...
I think that's one of my favorite sayings of all time is, I want to believe. Like,
yeah.
Like, straight from the poster in the X-Files. That was, like, one of my favorite things.
Is it
I want to believe.
Poster?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mulder has a poster of a UFO, and then it's a silver UFO floating, and then underneath it says, I want to believe.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was like the most appropriate thing for him to have.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, as I was saying, this woohoo kind of stuff has been attracted, like I've always been attracted to it, looking for it and stuff, but you know, as I grew older and stuff, it started to I sort of had to abandon, or you know, you get interested in other things and that falls at the wayside. But eventually I found Chess, and he was also interested in similar things, which I didn't know. I took him as the same kind of person that would frown on woohoo.
I kept it hidden pretty well.
But you did. He did. He kept it hidden pretty well. He's it wasn't something that I thought would be ever talked about, I guess, with us. Mm-hmm. So once I found out that Chess was into this kind of stuff, and we started swapping videos back and stories and websites and stuff, it just opened up a whole new paradigm of exploration, of looking at different things. Sorry, looking at things from a different perspective. And I know that sounds cliche, but really just examining like everything, kind of like taking a different approach, and just exploring. Oh man, I don't even know what I'm saying. Exploring all kinds of documentaries and stuff.
Just seeing what's out there that's like not like the usual norm. 9 to 5 news or you know, CNN or Fox, and like what's being spoon fed to you.
Right.
There's like this other information, this wealth of information we have on the internet at our fingertips. Like, why stick to the information that's just mundane?
Yeah, that's it. And the more that I started like kind of looking at this stuff, the more that I seen how much of it there really was. And as I started talking to Chess, I found out that he knew some people that were also kind of looking at woohoo, and and then the explore, like the conversations started expanding in the amount of people that we had talking about similar topics, and And that's what led me to the interest in doing something like this, doing a podcast and sharing the little bits of information we've gathered from different podcasts and different articles and internet and stories and documentaries and stuff. And like I said, by no means am I expert or anything, and it's not groundbreaking, but I want to join that this movement of people kind of looking at things different. Like I'm talking about like politics and science and like all dogmatic stuff, like stuff that you're taught in school. Just the idea that history is different than what we're actually taught. Like, just and to think that's what like a government might do is write history, right? Mm-hmm. But just kind of like everything is not quite as it seems, that sort of idea. Mm-hmm. And it's fascinating to go down that path, and it's scary.
Yep, it is scary. It's like you're constantly daylighting. I don't know if you know that
daylighting term. No, explain that.
Like when miners are trying to dig through a tunnel and they finally get through the other side and the light starts coming through the other side. That's called daylighting. So
okay,
yeah, it's like constantly daylighting. Like you're always hitting like another level where more light is coming in and more information is being brought forward.
I like that term. Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like you're in the dark for a long time. I like to think of it too. Like my kind of analogy was like if you play StarCraft or any RTS game, where you have a map that's black, and then as you start exploring the map, it starts to illuminate.
The fog of war.
Yeah, the fog of war. I love that. The fog of war starts to dissipate, and you start noticing more areas of the map.
Yeah.
So, how about you? That's kind of my shtick.
Oh, okay.
What about you, Chess?
Well, Phil, I actually called you Phil. That's
you did.
First time.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
We'll get through this one day.
Yeah. We'll get used to it. My kind of, I guess, awakening to this kind of stuff started back when I was in probably grade 11, 12 in there. I was just finishing school, and I was getting into doing graphic arts and stuff like that, and I got this one job with this guy, and he was an absolute, we'll call him Dan, and he was absolutely just like the craziest guy. Like he had the most idiosyncratic, just weirdest personality. Mm-hmm. And he was coming. He approached me to help him build a 3D model of a vehicle that he needed done, and so I accepted, and my friend and I started building.
Curry smell right there.
I was gonna move over here.
There's not much place you can move.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Oh.
Sorry, man.
Phil let one rip.
Holy shit! I didn't let it. No, that's it let itself rip.
Hellish shit.
It snuck out.
That's not holy shit. That's hellish shit.
Well, might have been a little bit of cell on there.
Oh man, what was that?
I don't know.
Oh god. Yeah, it's not done yet.
No. Then the window's open. Here, do you want the fan?
No, I'm just gonna stay over. I'm just gonna stay over here. Hopefully they can still hear me.
Alright.
Anyways.
Yeah, you're still on there.
Okay, good. So anyways, he hands me this book, and it's called Children of the Matrix. And some of you may be well aware of who that book is written by. A guy by the name of David Icke. And this guy's pretty out there. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of his stuff, but some of his research into symbolism, his symbology is
it's still there. Ain't going no way.
His study into symbology really was is evident in like his writing, and he called out a lot of things about the government in the UK that's just, and this was back in 2004, 3,
and David Icke called a lot of people out on stuff from the UK government, like the child abuse that was happening there, and everyone called him crazy. Everyone was like, no, this is ridiculous, and this isn't happening. And he would interview witnesses, and the witnesses would go on about these ritualistic things that the UK government would do, and like people that are, part of the elite, like even the royalty would get involved in these ceremonies where they would, burn an effigy, in quotations, and where the effigy wasn't really an effigy, it was actually like a child, or they would like inflict fear or whatever like that on them to like draw certain energies, and they would do these weird rituals. Anyways, he wrote about that, and then now it's just coming out that these things did happen. And David Icke was right, and so that's pretty intense. Like, I mean, there is some credibility to some of his stuff, but there's also stuff that I completely 100% disagreed with, and I don't think is true by any means, especially stuff regarding the reptilians being on Earth and being a part of like our society, and they've got these like hyperdimensional masks that they are able to phase in and out of, and
reptilians. Yeah. Okay.
So he's a big believer in the reptilians and the reptilian bloodline that stemmed from the way back in the Merovingians and even further like right into the Sumer culture. But anyways, yeah, I don't believe any of that crap. I'm gonna bring a healthy level of skepticism to my to the podcast, and look at it from like, if you present the right information to me, you will win me over. But that's just a personal thing. That's I want to see your perspective win me over ultimately. So that's kind of like my stance on it.
I gotta say, I'm easily swayed. I actually probably join a cult pretty easily because I'm quite malleable. But that's kind of the whole point, is to get all these different sides, because the more that I see different sides of the argument, then I can start to make my own decision rather than just hearing one person saying, "Oh my God, did you hear what this person said?" and then hear another thing, and yeah, that's just me being honest.
Yeah, no, but I was like, I'm gonna bring like a certain level of honesty with this. So it's like from my like, I will turn on my logic servo motors, I guess, every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm pretty open to an idea, as long as you like present something to me that's actually solid as far as information goes. So
it's all about some kind of evidential.
No, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that we talk about on consciousness.
Not evidence, but
like there's stuff that we just don't have evidence for.
That's true.
Like consciousness is, there's like we were talking about earlier, is like a lot of people consider consciousness as a mechanical thing. Like a lot of scientists think of it as a material thing.
So what wins you over in some kind of new thing that someone's presenting to you? What
they can get me to visualize it to the point where I can understand it from my own perspective, they win me over.
Can't you visualize a reptilian?
Yeah, I can't visualize a reptilian.
I don't know. It was a joke.
I can't do
corny or anything. I'm just...
No, I can't. Like, I don't. That is just not a real thing.
I thought the reptilian thing was just more kind of like a mindset. Like, you're thinking.
No, well, I mean, that could be for some people. David Icke takes it so literal. He's the most actual people transforming into reptilian from this bloodline that's ancient. Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, he introduced me to that, and then it was kind of snowballed into this search for a history in theology.
So you got a little bit of like, this is what we weren't like a little bit of some history, a little bit taste of history, I guess, that was kind of covered up a little bit. And then your next kind of where that
My next target was
your next
religion.
target was so you progress. Okay.
Yeah. So because my family is very, very religious, and it's not exactly a the way they handle it is very nice. I like it. They're not pushy. They're not they don't put their views on anyone else about it, and it's just kind of like, yeah. So in that sense, it's kind of like that's fine. But on the other side, I wanted to learn more about where Christianity came from and why it was such a big deal, why it's why it changed the world. What was the inner workings of it, and so that really just got me going deep into the world of theology, and the world of theology is just unbelievable. Like the stories behind what this world has done for religion is just it's an unfathomable tome of information. Lately, religion, all different types of religion has been quite fascinating, especially the historical part of it.
Yeah.
Not so much, I guess, a little bit of what the basis of the religion is, too, what they believe, because I don't know Islam and stuff like that, but
Islam's pretty complicated.
Yeah. But just kind of like how it kind of affects everything from the earlier points in time in history, I guess, is interesting to me.
Yeah.
So where did you go after religion then? Where did you travel?
After religion, I went to government.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you say you kind of started at government with the UK stuff, with the Children of the Matrix stuff, or what?
No, that wasn't the real trigger for me. That was just one indicator that I didn't know whether things were, because I just found out that stuff with the rituals is just coming to light now, and this is like back in 2003-4. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5 in there. Anyways. Yeah. After religion, it was government, and then after government, it was paranormal and UFOs and aliens and that whole biscuit. I went into my personal thought on aliens was like, originally when I started getting into it, it was like, this has to be real, this has to have happened. And as I got going in and digging into more of the information, I've kind of been swayed to the other side, where I don't think it's real. I don't think aliens have visited. I don't think that has happened. I think any of the UFO technology and any of the UFOs that we've seen are of this earth, are machines built by man, and that's the extent of what I think UFOs are.
Graham Hancock definitely makes a pretty compelling argument in his book Supernatural. I don't know if you.
No, I haven't read it yet. Oh yeah. I've read Supernatural. That's right.
I was kind of
I thought you were talking about the other one.
No. His whole kind of abduction thing and how he's comparing it with fairies and other things. It was interesting. Shamanism, fairies, and aliens, and how it kind of... I don't know if we want to get into that, but...
yeah, no, absolutely. Why not? Yeah. He's... Graham, I kind of think that I moved from thinking that aliens are something of this world and thinking that there's something of another world, of another dimension, a higher level of existence.
That's kind of where I started to lean when I was reading that book, but I don't know. I think that there's still like a ton of stuff that's been covered up, and as people get older, they start to get more brave, and they're just like, screw it, I'm just going to tell my story. Because most people, most pilots, most people in the military have some kind of story to tell. They almost always, especially pilots, they always encounter something.
Foo Fighters, glowing orbs, silver discs, yeah. There's all kinds of eyewitnesses, but there's no reason why those can't be man-made. Like, there's hidden technology that we don't know about.
Well, there is the what was his name? I wish I had names and stuff here. But the Canadian guy who worked for the military, who worked on the defense, and he basically
Paul Hellyer.
Yeah, his kind of confession, or not so much confession, but just talking
admittance.
His admittance of talking about like what was going on there. If it was the same guy. There's another guy that was with him who wrote a book. I forget what it's called. I was listening to a podcast called Coast to Coast AM, and
that was originally a radio show, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a radio show. It's just also available online.
On podcast, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a whole bunch that were available on YouTube, and then eventually that artist got his stuff removed, but there was an abundance of it available on YouTube, and that definitely also kind of led me down the rabbit hole too, because there's a lot of useful or interesting information on there that they discussed. And there was a guy that was on there who was talking about, he was like what was he? I forget what he was now. I'll have to get more information on it and get back to you on that.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Yeah. You know what? It would be good to come back with a list of
notes.
Different things. Yeah, notes.
Be a little bit prepared. Yeah.
Have a kind of a backlog of information for people if they want to get started, if they want to get digging into some of this stuff, or
yeah, absolutely.
Some of the stuff that we've studied and gone through, and just the information we've taken in. If we've got anything like that, I think we can bring that to the table and get other people started. So
I think that's the whole point, is to get people aware that there's a lot of other people that are digging into a lot of this stuff, and let's make a good point.
It's a change.
It's change, yeah.
Sounds like there's a Mexican horn somewhere in the background.
Downstairs.
Oh.
Laptop. What the hell was I going to say? Just like how pseudoscience gets published and then it gets put into the new age. Just these terms that immediately
are used to discount things immediately.
Yeah, like new age. Oh, that's new age, or it's all under the umbrella of woohoo.
Yeah, Voltaire said, prejudices are what fools use for reason. And I completely agree with that statement. I think that a lot of the information, a lot of the paradigm of this day and age is stuck in that prejudice.
Make up your mind.
Just dogmatic. Well, even though it's been peer reviewed, it still doesn't align with a materialistic view. So there's no way that this theory can be true. Yeah. So, anyways.
Yeah, that's true, and that goes back to the idea of some kind of scientific breakthrough that only a certain amount of people from the scientific community will allow their names to be, I went to this, I went and checked out this, but most of them are afraid, and they'll keep their identities.
I think Randall Carlson talked about that. Remember, Randall Carlson. If you haven't heard about Randall Carlson, definitely check this guy out. He's amazing. He's an engineer, architect. He's an architect.
Is he an architect?
Yeah, he's an architect.
Yeah.
Anyways, He should be a geologist, though, really.
And that's what he's studying for now, but he really...
He's a Freemason.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he studied sacred geometry, and he actually has a cool website called sacredgeometry.com, and you can go on there and take courses with Randall Carlson, being the instructor and teaching you all about the math behind it and the shapes and stuff like that. But Randall Carlson is one of those brains that is just lit up, and he's trying to get the message out as much as possible right now about how our history is manipulated. And he has geologists and he has people show up to his talks, and they sit at the back, and these are like prominent people in science, and they'll sit at the back and they won't say a single thing, and then as soon as he's got off stage and he's in the hallway all by himself, they'll walk up to him and be like, yes, whatever you like, everything you're saying is like right on, and this is exactly what we need. But if you ask me in public, I would say no. I would say straight to your face that this isn't how it works, because I can't risk having my career put on the line.
Exactly. Can't risk like the work off grants, and you gotta have a rep. As soon as your reputation gets, you immediately get shunned in the scientific community.
Yeah, you start to kick to the curb and forget your career. Yeah. So like, I mean, you're either like, it's white or black right now, and it's either you're with the scientific materialists or you're against it, and it shouldn't be like that. Science shouldn't be so black and white.
No, it shouldn't, and that's why things like podcasts and stuff like that is really a good, because you get to listen to some really interesting people that have reputation, like have accreditations, like they're doing their research, they're looking what other people are afraid to look at, because those geologists, they might go back from that conference and have that in the back of their head, but then go back to their normal career and the way they look at things. Or they might be brave enough to start changing stuff, to start making their own taking a harder look and doing their own research on things.
Yep. So the hope is that eventually we will get some of these guests on, like some scientists and some really prevalent people in the industry, and or in industries or without industries, or just to come in and share their wisdom and their knowledge, and maybe even sway some hard set attitudes towards things, and like even change the way we think.
I had a thought that basically this kind of communication is it's almost like even the amount of woohoo that you believe, whether you believe it or not, the idea of just kind of looking at it and not being afraid to look and talk about it is waking people up. You know what I mean? Like, like anyone that looks at it a little bit differently and doesn't immediately, like you said,
accept it.
Doesn't immediately go like, oh no, that's crap, blah blah blah. Like, but actually looks into it, maybe spends a little bit of time researching it. Like, it's waking people up, and because if you're told one thing always, and then you find out that something that you were told is incorrect, that you've been lied to, you start to really look at things differently and not take everything at face value, and so like this kind of thing is really starting to wake people up in that are set in their ways, if you will. That is all I have to say.
Really? I don't think that's all you have to say.
No, but I've said it already. Like I'm kind of repeating myself, but yeah.
So, some topics that I would love to cover eventually would be the prehistory of man. Like I've always been interested in civilizations, like how they emerge, where they've come from, and that includes like a lot of what Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson worked on. And I wouldn't mind touching on the subjects of theology, secret societies, conspiracy stuff that like people throw by the wayside and call ridiculous. Fluoride, for example. Fluoride was considered to be good and prescribed into our drinking water as something that would keep our teeth healthy and keep them together.
I think it was in the drinking water to break to clean the water to kill it was to kill bacteria though, I thought too, wasn't it?
Was it? Because no, I think it was for teeth. Yeah, they're putting it in there for teeth. But the thing is like,
anyways, sure.
That stuff is so poisonous. It's ridiculous. And I'm glad Calgary kind of woke up to it, because now we don't have fluoride in our water, because our council looked at it and they're like, all these doctors are saying, yeah, it's fine. But there was actually evidence that no, it's not. It's very poisonous. It can cause brain damage. And so the Calgary City Council was actually did their research. They followed it up. They talked to the right people. They talked to chemists. They talked to biologists and doctors, and they got the real information. And the real information stated the opposite of what the current studies had stated, or the old studies had stated. And it was just out of date, and it was just this perpetual pushing of this idea that it was that this fluoride was good for you, good for your teeth. And so, because no one was opposed to it, it wasn't really going through until they discovered, well, maybe we should do something about this. And so there's a positive change. It turned out, like, a lot of people thought, oh no, you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist. No, they actually did their research. These people studied it and they're like, wait a minute, no, the wool's being pulled over our eyes.
It's kind of like if you say one thing, like you're told one thing's good, and you say, no, there might be something else to it, you're immediately labeled a conspiracy theorist if it's like...
There's a term that
you're
Alex Sarkis used. Is that how you say his name?
I think it's Sakaris.
Sakaris?
I think. Because I swear that I've heard him before, not only on Skeptico, but I've heard him... Maybe Joe Rogan had him on.
Did he?
Sakaris. I don't know. I can't honestly remember.
It's something ST. Anyways.
ST.
I will find it. To add to this intro podcast, there is another great podcast based here in Calgary, and they're called Grimerica. And if you ever get a chance, check them out. They've got some really great topics, some real mystery, some real brain busters.
And they're funny guys. The thing is, too, is like, maybe you don't believe in this stuff. It could be entertaining to just check out stories and things, at the very least. I mean, who doesn't like watching a documentary about Bigfoot or something like that?
I don't know. Bigfoot doesn't really
yeah, actually, I don't really care too much about Bigfoot. But the idea that there's something out there, like it's enticing, right?
It is enticing.
Like,
I can see the attraction to it.
Am I demolishing our, like, kind of whole thing?
Our what?
I'm kind of saying, like, just listen, like, check it out, just because it's also entertaining. I was trying to add that in, but maybe that's not.
So, you know what? I wouldn't put a restriction on it. Like, let's say someone's just got this whacked out theory, and it is out there, like, it is ridiculous. I am willing to bring them on board, to have them as a guest to explain themselves.
Yeah.
And just, like, talk about it.
You might get something out of it.
You might get something out of it. It might be, like, just ridiculous, but I want to, like, in fact, I'd be
I'd be excited to have someone like that come and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who would be? Oh, you know who I'd really, really like to talk to? That is kind of a crazy guy.
Who?
I might have showed you him before. Sargel.
Oh, right.
How crazy!
That guy
has some stuff. He has some stuff to talk about, man.
He's dimensional phasing and shifting and
Sargel,
demons.
He's this guy who, in places in the States, there's these portals that people have talked about, psychics and stuff like that. And I guess he's been on a couple of different discovery programs.
Yeah. Maybe send him an email and see if we can get him on for the next one.
And we gotta figure out how we would do that.
Do you send him an email?
No. I mean, do we do it through like Skype or Google Hangouts, and then we just record him talking like with the microphone here?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gonna come to.
Yeah, no. We could just have him play through the speaker. It'll pick up just fine.
Just pick up there.
Yeah.
That's how they do that usually.
Well, I mean, how else are you gonna?
You
do
think
it?
the Grimerica guys do that too?
Well,
because they probably didn't have Randall Carlson like come to Calgary to talk to him. I mean, maybe they did, but
yeah, maybe we could do a quick phone call test with them.
Yeah,
like a 15-minute like setup, and then just work.
I don't know. He's pretty. See, I heard about him on Kevin Smith had a podcast.
Are you talking about Randall Carlson or Sargel?
I'm talking about Sargel. Are you talking about Randall Carlson?
No, I was talking about Sargel.
Oh yeah. No, I heard about him through Kevin Smith's podcast, Modcast. He had a friend who started his own podcast, who owned his comic book store called Tell 'em Steve Dave, and then they got a pitch or like an offer through Microsoft's iTunes thing called Zune, and so they were offered a contract for 10 episodes, and Walt Flanagan, the guy who's in charge of Tell 'em Steve Dave, or who was one of the dudes on there, they decided that he wanted to do like a woohoo kind of podcast, where he was talking about paranormal stuff, and one of the things, how did he? I guess one of the dudes that went to the comic book store was talking about this guy Sargel, and so they reached out to him, and he actually agreed to talk to them. And stuff. But he doesn't usually do it. Like he's not really. He came into Red Bank, New Jersey one time and talked to Walt Flanagan one time, like what, and he had like his kid in there or something because he was buying comics, and so that's how Walt knew him, and he reached out to him, and he ended up going on there and talking to him and stuff. But if you go look up on Google Sargel, I think it's Sarge and then just L, the letter L. He's got a little bit of a website there with a bunch of crazy pictures of what he believes are interdimensional creatures that he was able to take photographs of, and I mean, it's interesting to look at. There's some really weird looking stuff in there.
Looks like he was smoking pot to me.
Did you see the stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, well, it's funny because he's like, oh yeah, no, I took a picture of a devil and he was holding a battle axe, and then you look at the photo that he has and you're like, it's kind of open to interpretation. It looks more like a wisp of smoke, and like, it's like looking at a cloud and seeing.
I'm pretty sure that's a plunger, not a battle axe.
Yeah, it's a tree in the background, but like, he's interesting to listen to. I mean, whether it's all... He kind of sounds like he's a little crazy. I should probably not say that if we want him on here, but
well, to the average person who's not into that kind of information, of course he'd be crazy.
I mean...
It's all, like, how you view him, but, I mean, that would be fascinating just to get inside... Like and just do a session, just asking questions.
I just like to because he was telling about like how it kind of all happened. Like he was kind of normal, and then one day he I think he said
took some acid.
No, one day he went down to his, I don't know, he didn't disclose that. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Yeah,
but he said he's like, I went down to my basement and suddenly the basement was filled with salamanders. And I was like, what? That's really random. And it's also funny just listening to him talk because he can't really stay on subject. He's all over the place. And he's like sounds excited the whole time. I don't know. It's interesting. you know, it's not about making fun of the guy or anything, but it's kind of it's funny, interesting stories. I always like listening to other people say like tell ghost stories and stuff, and you're just like,
yeah. I'd definitely be good to get like a few ghost stories. Like we could do a ghost story, you know, episode for like Halloween or something like that.
I want to go on a ghost tour real bad. I've never done it, and I just want to, like, I don't want to waste money on it.
Apparently there's someone right here.
Oh yeah,
growing.
Yeah. There's one in July that's a ghost pub crawl that me and another friend were thinking of going to. Although I might be going on vacation during that time, but we were talking about it. We were interested in that.
So if anyone wants to join Phil on a ghost pub crawl.
Yeah. Well, we could go and we could take the recorder with us and you know, do a little ghost hunting.
You know.
But I would I gotta know if there's something. If it's
like
if funny. You feel something.
It's funny because like you say you gotta know if there's something like on the other side, right? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta know. And I can tell you that from my personal experience that there is something on the other side.
But that's just you telling me. I don't,
because you haven't experienced it yourself.
Exactly.
You don't believe it. And that's my point originally, is that if you want to understand something, if you want to understand a concept, you have to get there from your own understanding.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to say earlier with this whole thing, is that like this is kind of like
I've had heavy influences that have pushed me to believe this, or not even believe, just know.
Right. But you'll never know unless you kind of open yourself up to it a little bit.
Yeah,
right? So you gotta be less closed-minded, and I guess that's the whole point of this, is to say that, like, yes, people are, you know, I don't live on the street. I'm not a crazy drunk who's talking about seeing birdmen in the sky.
Well,
yet.
Yet.
I like to think that I still have my mental capacities. Faculties.
Well,
when
you use your brain to figure it out.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I really did not work out too well. What I'm trying to say is that you might meet me at a dinner party and not think that I'm into this kind of stuff. So, like, that's the thing, is, like, other people, you don't have to be afraid to be kind of interested in this stuff. And this is a way to be exposed to it, and more people are finding more credible people that are able to get information for all of us, rather than us going on YouTube and typing in, you know, something on Google and then trying to see, like, immediately you're gonna come up with a bunch of people that are, you're gonna watch the video and go, this is crap, this is bullshit, I don't believe in any of this stuff. And whereas these people, you know, maybe they have a book or something written, and they've gone through a couple different interviews, and they're not afraid to kind of go out in the public and talk to people, you know, during these podcasts. So, in a way, Joe Rogan and Grimerica and stuff are really getting us access to people that are starting to shake the system a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like what you said, like, I'm not going to believe, I mean, I'm not just not going to believe, but it's hard for me to say, yes, I believe in ghosts. I might want to believe in ghosts, but I want to believe, but unless I actually feel it or see it and experience it in some way personally, it's pretty hard for me to say, to make up my mind, really.
Yeah.
And so it's that kind of pursuit that I'm after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully we will get some excellent guests on here, and it'll be educational for everyone. Mm-hmm. And we'll see what we can do about finding the most captivating information we can, and and cover topics that you've never heard of before. Maybe gain new information on a topic that you thought you were familiar with.
Yeah.
So
That's what it's all about.
yeah. So yeah, that's under the geometry.
I almost said under the umbrella tree because that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of has the same rhythm to it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was
Same
saying. When you
syllables.
came up with the name, I was like, oh, I remember that show under the umbrella tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I like under the geometry because it pervades us. I'm a believer in the sacred geometry.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the architecture of the universe is hidden within the sacred geometry.
I don't know really what to believe. All I know is that like you can see it. Like it's intriguing to see it pop up everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the connections there. I don't really know what the belief system is.
I have some like crazy theories about physics, about how the world functions, how time functions, and maybe we can one day have that as an episode, and I'll go into,
I think you would need to have access to like a drawing program and do a screen capture, of you drawing all these things out because it's hard to follow.
Yeah, some of the concepts are really like you have to,
for me, anyways. Well, I guess for the other guy there too.
Yeah, I mean,
other buddy.
Yeah. I'll have to figure out a way to explain it. Actually, you know what? Maybe if I'm explaining it to you and you are asking the questions along the way, it might help describe it better.
Oh, yeah, no. The more you explain it, the more you'll solidify it, and you'll really understand it a little bit more too. Maybe.
Well, I have a pretty solid grasping of how it all works. But you know what? It is funny because sometimes when I am talking about it, I will.
It's still mold. You can still mold it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like working on all kinds of different things. Like, I do have 4 new concepts I'm working on that are kind of, I guess breakthrough kind of physics ideas, and I would love to bring them to the to one of the episodes.
Yeah, and maybe get some people to get feedback to it.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. So if like someone else was joined in, or like maybe we brought someone else in to kind of like ask questions, like.
Well, even if we just like put this up on maybe YouTube or something like that, and you get people that are commenting on it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When we get our website up, you get forums, and people might comment on it and be like,
yeah, and I could directly respond to those questions.
Yeah. If you want someone to steal your thunder, your patents and everything else, that no,
like Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, stealing the relativity.
Exactly.
Yeah. Working at the patent office over there.
But just gotta get it. Like, I mean,
and licking stamps.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. All right, what do we have for time here? Oh, almost an hour. That's pretty good.
Right on.
Yeah,
we made it to an hour.
Almost an hour.
All right.
Okay.
So, I guess for the next, for our next episode,
try and get a guest on there.
We'll try and get a guest. If we do find out who that guest is, we will post that to the end of this.
Sure.
And,
we can do that.
Yeah, and then we can put a little hype behind it, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Even though this is a quick intro and we did repeat a few things, hopefully we got our concepts.
Forgive us, we're still new at this and we're trying to figure out kind of what our format's going to be like.
Yeah.
Right now it's very liquid.
Wild West. Loosey-goosey.
Yeah, very woohoo.
Pretty much. So, yeah, thanks,
but it will
guys.
always be woohoo.
It'll always be woohoo.
Or wait.
I don't know woohoo.
I don't know why.
I think that's just a first episode thing.
Yes. Okay, well, we'll graduate from woohoo to
horse shit.
I was gonna say like poo poo. But then no, yeah. We'll graduate from woohoo to horse shit to fertilizer to a nice garden of psilocybin mushrooms.
A psilocybin. It's full of psilocybin.
Of what does Terrence McKenna call those?
What?
He calls them. I forget. The particular name.
What's the real name of it? Oh, Amanita muscaria.
Amanita muscaria. That's what it is. Well, no, that's like that's another one, isn't it?
There's lots of them.
Yeah, I know. The one that the one you just mentioned is the one I think that you have to drink your own pee.
You have to drink your own pee.
Yeah.
After consuming them in order to feel the high, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, got nothing else.
Well, I guess we have to try it.
Supposedly it just stinks, but it actually doesn't taste too horrible.
I don't know if
I would like drink a ton of water and not eat any asparagus. No asparagus.
No, I just can't do it. I don't think.
No,
I don't think so.
Okay. On that note, thanks for listening, guys,
and we'll see you next time on Under the Geometry.
Damn, this thing got out of tune. That sounded really bad.